This week on Zen and Not Zen, BroTime edition.
Another big Jomo that that was a schadenfreude a little bit was watching every flight in the country get canceled over the summer. Like, I don't like traveling in the summer, and I know that's like when everyone's supposed to travel, but I fucking hate it because everyone and their children and their grandmother and all extended relatives, that's when everyone has off school, and I get it, that's the travel time, but I fucking hate traveling in the summer.
Do you have TSA pre-check?
No, I mean I probably should, but like it's more of like I don't travel during Christmas, holidays because it's just it is too chaotic for me. And when I see travel disasters happen over the holidays, I'm like, my God, I'm so glad I'm not going anywhere.
You sound like the nanny on Mrs. Doubtfire. I don't do babies.
I don't
do diapers.
I don't do cleaning. I don't do. I am that bitch. Oh my God. BroTime.
BroTime. Oh my God. Yeah, dude, kids are fucking nuts, man. And I had a regular at Jillian's one time tell me that you never really realize how fast time goes until you have a kid or you have a kid in your life.
Yep.
Because like they change so much. They're your barometer for time passing.
Totally.
Like, it could be like 5 years goes by and if I don't see a kid, I'm like, what the fuck ever. You know, I generally look the same unless my diet changes, graying, whatever.
Yeah.
But when you have a little one in your life and you see that little one and then a month later you see it again, you're like, what the fuck did what?
Yeah,
I'm getting old.
I went
Fuck.
to one of my oldest friends. Her sibling got married this last weekend, and I've known them since they were like 14, and so the whole family was there. And Kate, my friend, she's got 2 kids, and I went to go see her in Nepal not that long ago, and she's got 2 kids, and I was expecting her kids to be like, Kinzie! And I was like, it hasn't been that long. And I was like, oh, it's been like 5 years. And she was like, let me introduce you. And I was like, what do you mean introduce me? And the kids just had no fucking clue who I was. And I was like, oh, I guess 5 years for you has been an entire lifetime.
That's an eternity, totally.
Yep. Okay.
Well, yeah, no, that's the whole thing. Like, when your birthdays are like when you're a child, it's like, well, that's all you fucking know. And then it's like now it's just you keep blinking. It's just like, well, yeah, it's just like, well, okay, now it's another year, but it's just. Your sample size is obviously smaller when you're fucking 5.
Sample size.
I saw an interview with Prince the other day from a long time ago, obviously, but they were talking to him about age. Like, how old are you? And he's like, well, they're like, when's your birthday? And he said, I've only had one birthday, and that was when I was born. From there, I stopped counting the days, I stopped counting the years, I stopped counting my age, and then he turned out as Prince, and he's like, that's why I still look this good. And he fucking does. That man was ageless until he did die.
Until
you know?
OD'd.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like.
Well, I mean, life happens.
Yeah.
Life, And I guess the luxury of being exceptionally talented and exceptionally wealthy that you do not need to know what the fuck day it is.
Yeah,
it's
that's
a
also
luxury.
true.
Yeah.
Well, that happens to me working in restaurants. Like
got,
any day that's like after my vacation is Monday, even if it's Wednesday or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
today's
so
my Monday.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's
So
Friday,
I don't ever know what day it actually is.
I was actually listening to an interview with Jack White and Questlove, and Jack White was talking about how he doesn't have a cell phone, not a smartphone, not a flip phone, no cell phone at
Only
all.
rich people can do that.
And that's what Questlove said. He's like, you realize that's a luxury. Like, not everybody can do that. He's like, yeah, I do, and it pisses everybody around me off. But I'm so addictive that if I did have a phone, that's all I would do.
Yeah.
So I've got to be creative.
I didn't have because I'm really
just have a fucking landline.
Yes.
I get that payphone in the living room I fucking wanted. Oh, you want to make a call?
I want that for you.
The fucking payphone in the living room, functional.
I would love
it's
that.
just so. I mean, it's like the initial costs are like whatever, but then it's just the fact that you gotta like pay probably like $20 a month to have a fucking landline.
Well, isn't that shit like included in Infinity or Xfinity or whatever the fuck?
Oh,
You
yeah,
probably have to pay extra now because they're like, fucking landline, we got to come out. All right, we're charging
bundle.
extra
God,
for that
such
shit.
A classic tone.
Uh-huh.
It'd be so good. So good. Just
If you'll excuse me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Need to go straight into the
call.
studs on that. That fucking thing probably weighs like 90 pounds.
Oh yeah, man, that's a beast. Actually, it's funny. Harper was showing me pictures of they took a trip to Whidbey Island a couple months ago, and she was showing me pictures, and she was like, and then we found this old phone booth, and we tried to make a call, but it wasn't. And I'm like, what
It
is
was
this?
haunted.
And I was like, what are you doing? It's like
Yeah.
this fucking epic story about finding it's a fucking phone booth.
Do you remember kind of probably like mid to late 90s when the payphones were getting more modern and they had like card readers, not for like maybe credit cards, maybe they did
Phone
take credit
cards.
Phone cards.
only.
Totally.
Like it was just that was like all the fucking rage.
Yep.
Had the LED like Texas Instruments screen.
Totally, man.
Well, even like movies that aren't that old that still have like payphones in them.
Like the movie Phone Booth that I never saw.
Oh, was that with Colin Farrell?
Yeah.
Yeah. What pulled that out of my ass? It
Yeah,
literally
good.
popped in my brain.
Nice.
But there's so many movies that wouldn't be like horror movies, especially. You cannot do a horror movie with cell phones.
Right.
There has to be some kind of outage, power outage, someone no service, because like cell phones are just they ruin the whole storyline.
Well, yeah,
so
it's
I
always,
think
it's always a battery thing. And
Yeah.
you're just like, of course.
Yeah.
And then I'm just there like.
Reception.
it's like I don't know where I am. Like Google it. Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, you do. You know where you are.
That fucking Geico, like, get to the cemetery.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I actually just read a
Fucking guy
story
who
about a
kills
guy that survived in the middle of like Yosemite or something. He got lost out there hiking. But one of the things they recommend people doing now is if you download the, you can go to like your map app, whatever it is, and download the area that you're going to be in. You still won't have service, but you'll have an active view of that map saved on your phone.
Right.
As long as you still have battery life. And so that's what the dude did, and he ended up surviving for 4 days out in the middle of nowhere until they found him.
Well, I mean, cell phones are. Have you? I'm gonna bring in a dark thing. Have you heard about the Carly Russell thing?
No.
Okay. So Carly Russell is this woman who made a 911 phone call on the highway late at night, saying that she saw a toddler on the freeway, and she was following this toddler. And then she was like, "Yeah, I'm following him, whatever." And then calls her mom. And then during the phone call with her mom, she starts screaming that someone has kidnapped her. And so she was missing for 2 days, and the internet exploded. And she showed up at her house 2 days later, a couple of injuries, whatever. And it turned out the cell phone that she had, all the search history on her cell phone was for the movie Taken, maximum age for Amber Alert, how to like disappear, how to steal money from a cash register without being caught. So it's like people don't understand. Like watch one true crime documentary, like your phone will be the death of your case.
Oh, it's so
Like,
bad. It's so fucking
it is
bad.
so bad, and like they will be your saviors if you are in the middle. But if you are in the middle of trying to fake your own kidnapping, like you don't do anything on your phone. Like
public
what
library
is
or
wrong
something.
with you?
Yeah,
Like
you got to go to the library,
watch
but then
one
it's just like,
Dateline.
but then it's just like, yeah, you got to like when you're talking about just like, God, now we're getting more fucked up, like disposing of whatever the fuck you did.
oh, you got to turn your phone off. They're gonna
You're
track
just not
that. They're
gonna
gonna
have
ping
your
it.
fucking phone. You're not gonna have your
Go put it in
phone.
a
No.
fucking locker at the airport or something.
No.
And they go do your shit.
There's so much shit on your phone. You can't get away with anything.
No.
You cannot get away with anything unless you're Jack White and have no phone.
Right.
Jack
Well,
White could probably do it, but
Exactly.
only rich
Yeah.
people can fake
But
their
I mean,
own
Jack White at
experiences.
this point, as we speculate as to how he gets his hands dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He has a guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a
He's got a
cleaner.
guy.
He's got a cleaner.
Yeah.
Some fucking just heavy hitters like Jack White sent me.
Oh man!
No
Apparently
cell phone.
your iPhones take an infrared picture of you every 10 seconds or every 15
Okay.
seconds.
Awesome. Ugh.
So it's like and I think one of those reasons is because it's supposed to like refresh what your face looks like. So when you do your Face ID, and all
Sure.
this
I don't
blah,
have a
blah,
Face
whatever.
ID on mine yet. I still got a home button on mine
Oh, you got
because
a home button,
I'm riding this shit till it dies.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't chide anybody that has concerns about information stealing or blah blah blah, the phones and all that.
It
shit.
out
But
there,
it's not-
baby.
it's
It's
not
out
me.
there, baby.
I know, but it's like it's not something I want to concern myself
No.
about because it's like
Because
it's
it's-
moving in that direction.
Okay.
There's nothing we can do to stop it.
And I'm not so smart that even all the precautions I could take, they're not going to mean shit. Like I don't know enough about anything, and even if I did know enough, the scope of AI and hackers and internet, like it is just too cumbersome for me to even. I was just like, if it happens, it's gonna happen. Like
exactly.
I
We'll live in
can't.
ignorance.
Do you have a CD player in your car?
No. It didn't
See, I don't have a CD player in my car. Yours is what, a 2020?
19, yeah.
2019, so obviously mine's 2024, but like, what the fuck does Jack White do for tunes in his car? Because like all of my shit is tied to my
baby.
No, aux cord. He's just got an iPod Classic. I'm sitting here like doing in my head.
That motherfucker does.
Yeah, I'm just
shuffle
sitting.
or something.
I'm just Zune.
Yeah.
Fucking Zune.
Dude, I used to have a
Fucking Zune.
Yeah, of course you did.
Yeah.
No, but like
I still
literally
Bing
in my
shit,
head, I'm
too.
just sitting there going, "How the fuck does Jack White listen to music? Because I just listen to shit off my phone now."
He just brings his untuned guitar with him and
He
puts it in
probably
the passenger
sits
seat.
in
That's probably like
silence.
one of those car
throws
vinyl
throws
turntable-
bouncy balls off of it and just like sings to that.
Fucking 8
Yeah.
tracks.
He's got a full band in his car at all
I
times.
tried to convince my buddy to not like. I could successfully convinced him because he has a 1970 Volvo or 71. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put an 8-track in there." I'm like, "That's period accurate," but I'm like, "You're like very limited on like what you're gonna
Your
be able
catalog,
to jam out in
yeah.
your fucking car if you could find it." You know, and it's just like, "Oh shit, I just
Bridge
broke my
over
$70
troubled
case
water.
Kiss 8-track."
I will lay me down.
Yeah.
It is
that's
nuts. I mean, when you see like a good 8-track, I'm like, oh shit, I'd actually listen to that.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's like Carpenters. You know,
Yeah, it's always the Carpenters.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I haven't actually looked for 8-tracks when I go to the Goodwill.
Yeah, it's you don't see them that often.
Okay.
I feel like they're in the vintage realm now, where they would only exist like on eBay because they're kind of like kitschy now. You know
when
what
I
I
see
mean?
him, I see him at like record stores.
Yeah.
Okay.
and then I'll also see him at like antique malls where it's like already been picked, so that it's like charging. Like I haven't gone to a fucking garage sale in probably 15 years.
I'm pretty jaded from that one that you were at the one we did, right?
That was trippy.
That fucking sucked. We had like 5 people show up and we pissed off 2 of them.
Oh, that's right, at your old house.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
That
god, I
was
remember that.
fantastic,
Yeah.
But the shit thing was, and I get it, everybody wants free shit, but after we finally said fuck it, and we're like, fuck it, we're done. Put it on Offer Up Kirkland.
Yeah.
Put it on there. We went to the store to grab some food. We were gone for 10 minutes. By the time we were back, there was like a litter of people, arms full of shit, just like falling off shoulders, carrying all the free shit away that were probably driving by when we had the garage sale. But like,
Right.
we're just waiting until they give up.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's interesting, and I love me some Costco, but it's just so many people just buy shit. It's like, really, what the fuck are you gonna do with that? Like, you know, I might be wrong. I'm probably
They're buying it because of the deal, not because of the item.
If it's a good price on something you don't fucking need, it's a bad deal. But not enough people can assess
It's a
that.
marketer's wet dream
Yeah,
because they're like, they know they don't need this, but
I'm gonna get a fucking paddleboard. I'm gonna
50%
fucking
off.
put that on your Kia. You know, like, what are you doing?
I need this gallon of mustard. It's such a good deal.
Shit.
Right? Yeah.
Can't pass it up.
Are you guys? How are you on siracha, man? Have you been hit by the sriracha shortage?
No,
I haven't. I didn't even know there was
shortage.
one.
Yeah, totally. Supposedly, we're coming out of it now.
Oh, what happened? Was there like a
There's
bad batch? or
bad
something?
crop, but
Okay.
there's more wrinkles because of the joys of Reddit.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm apparently it's been spotted in like Asian markets in Seattle. I haven't seen it at a grocery store. Like we're talking empty. Apparently there is a huge lawsuit and a fuck you going on between the Hoi Fung Foods, who are the owners and private company that do that, and the grower that has provided the red chili peppers for the last 20 fucking years.
Oh, really? I just actually watched a documentary about that guy.
So now they are getting it from a different farm, different everything. The sriracha that we know is no longer the sriracha we
Well,
want.
I have a
different
bottle
than
of sriracha in my fridge that is probably 2 years old. Is
Yeah.
it still good?
Well, yeah, no, I mean all that shit's
Does it
like
go
fine,
bad?
but it's just like
I'm just
my
gonna
shit,
savor it
I
now.
don't worry about it, but like I'm just
aged.
like
Yeah.
I guess the newer shit's a little bit like not as dark, and it was like but it's just like it's not gonna be the same. I mean everything
Interesting.
like if you think about coffee and beer, it all has that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Different farm now.
Yeah.
It's been the same farm for the
Man.
longest fucking time.
Well, when Red Hook moved its production of Longhammer down to Widmer in Portland, they didn't take into account the water tastes different.
Yeah.
And there were so many
yeah.
complaints about that. And they were losing their ass on it because they were like, what the fuck's going on? It's the same recipe.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the water that's really different. So I had to change the water, change the recipe to blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it does. That's interesting. I just watched a documentary about the owner of the sriracha company.
Yeah, I
and
tried
now-
to invest in them 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Well, yeah, it's still privately owned, but like 15 years ago, I'm like, man, this shit's hot.
Yeah.
This shit's hot. Robin was trying to
I
be
can
like,
get on
fucking
this.
Google. I was dude, it was like 23. Oh my God, I would have taken all $12 I had.
All on sriracha, baby. All on
Dude,
red.
Hoi Fung
There you
food.
go.
All on
So
red.
since you
That
just
shit
watched
on
the
red.
documentary, the name Hoi Fung, that's the name of the boat that he came over on.
Okay, I
That
don't
was
think
my
I caught that.
understanding.
I don't think I caught that. I usually watch documentaries and play on my phone, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of catching half of it.
What'd
But-
you glean from that?
The thing that I really liked about the doc was he was approached many times to go public with that company, but he doesn't because he wanted to keep the quality to what he wanted,
Yeah.
and he wanted to keep the price low because that's technically it's a high quality,
Yeah.
very very high. It could be a high priced sauce that he's making
getting there
because
now.
of the way that he makes it. But he's always chosen it to keep it to a working man's level. So
It's like the
he's-
99-cent Arizona iced tea
Right.
guy.
Yeah.
Fucking bless your heart.
Bless it.
Well, you know, and even like I watched something about Henry Ford recently, and when he was going through and he finally created the Model T. Say
Kind
what
of
you
a-
will,
Kind of a dick.
was a dick.
Yeah.
Was very much a dick. You know, and treated his son like an asshole. Actually, was responsible for murdering a few people when the unions first started.
Oh, cool.
Like, yeah, the unions were picketing, and Henry Ford took it as a personal threat against the car company, and so he sent henchmen down there, and they
Yeah.
shot 4 people. One was a kid. It was called the Ford Massacre. It was in 1927. Yeah, right? Fucking crazy.
What?
Yeah, we don't hear about
I
that
hate
shit, right?
Ford cars, so now this is even more validation
Focus.
for me
You
to
drove a
never
Focus.
fucking get another Ford.
But there was an interesting thing that Ford did, and now
I thought
it's
Subarus
escaping
were
me.
Australian
Yeah.
for fucking 30 years.
Subaru.
Because it's down under in Outback.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Didn't fucking know. Just thought they were coming from Australia the entire
Samsonite. I was way
Yeah,
off.
dude.
totally. Fucking slappy, sloppy.
Slippy, sloppy.
I forgot my my Ford fact I was gonna.
No,
share.
it was the Ford Massacre.
Yeah.
Then you had
before that.
Before that.
the Ford guy.
What were we talking about?
Unions, busting.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I lost
yeah,
it.
it's
Sorry,
all good.
tangent.
These-
Tangent
these
takes
all good.
again.
These
all good.
things happen.
It happens. That's why I generally write shit down. Like
Dude.
when I have interviews on my other podcasts, like I'm feverishly taking notes.
Yeah.
So I can get back to shit because that happens all the time. Even when I'm not high, I'm just
Yeah.
like forget shit.
I just forget.
Well, I didn't know you did performance enhancing drugs for this podcast.
Hey, they are enhancing.
Fuck. Dude, what's your weekend like with all this bullshit going on in downtown Seattle? I'm a luckily, like, I mean,
Oh,
I don't
I'm
work
not-
downtown anymore, but it's like I can't even
What's
fucking.
going on?
I
Is
am
it All-Star Weekend
no.
or is that last
Not
weekend?
only is it Mariners game, we got 2 T Swift concerts and something else, and it's all on the same day.
You got like a couple soccer games. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh,
Oh,
women's
Jesus
cup. So you got
Christ.
women's cup,
Holy
the
shit.
women's cup soccer. You got Taylor Swift. What's today? Friday. Oh, you also have Oppenheimer and Barbie opening.
Capitol Hill,
Capitol Hill Block Party. That was the other one.
Bite of Seattle,
Jesus.
Yeah, Bite of
Christ.
Seattle
and no 520.
and no 520.
Whoa.
They could not have planned that worse. So I will not be leaving my home unless I am going to work. And thank God I only have to walk. So I just walked 10 minutes now. So
I'm literally mapping
not
my
doing-
weekend in my head right now and seeing if I have to
it-
go to Seattle and I don't.
No, that is you stay here is the answer.
Joys of working. Yeah, you walk to
Yeah,
work.
but if I
yeah.
didn't, like, if I was still working at Rough and Tumble, I'd have to commute to Ballard. Like, if through all of that shit, I would probably call in sick.
Fuck that shit. That actually is a great segue into our topic.
Yeah,
FOMO
FOMO.
versus JOMO.
This is a Jomo moment for
That
me.
is a definite
This is a
JOMO
Jomo.
moment. And most of us know FOMO, fear of missing out. JOMO is a newer one that I stumbled on recently. It's joy of missing out.
Mm-hmm.
And you could call that like an introverted thing or whatever you want, but like I don't know. That one resonates a lot with me because and it's not that I'm like joyful that that I'm missing an experience. But I think it's more so in the fact like I feel guilted a lot to do things that I really, really don't want to do.
Yeah.
And I feel good about not doing it until I feel guilted.
I mean-
and then I'm like, what the fuck? Am I doing this wrong?
No,
You know?
as I think it is an introvert thing. because I feel so similarly. Or if something gets, if a bunch of people go and it doesn't go well, I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah,
or like,
right, yeah.
oh God, we ran
nothing
into this.
pleases me
So
more if I
it's
hear
all, the Jomo is almost a little Schadenfreude, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not joy of something bad happening to somebody else, but it's more of like, oh, something bad happened, and I'm just glad I wasn't there to have to deal with it.
I mean, now, admittedly, Adam, we don't kick it as much as we used to, and part of that's a product of us not getting ham-boned together anymore.
Right.
But, like, you, by most accounts, have always been kind of a homebody, so you like, don't ask you to lean into that, because you fucking will.
I will, yeah.
Yeah, your Jomo is just like, oh, dude, fucking don't tempt me with a corner in a book.
Yeah.
I'll fucking go there. I'll go there for
All about that
hours.
life.
You guys
All
are
about
literally my closest friends right now
Yeah.
because I see you
Appreciate
more
it.
than anyone.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not even about the closest of a relationship.
Yeah.
It's just I do not go out ever. I do not go out ever.
Yeah.
I don't go do things.
Yeah.
And if I do, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I come over here twice a month or however many times we do this podcast, like I see you more than any of my friends.
Right.
It was
Same.
my buddies in the Navy who comes up every so often is just like, so do you see these people? I'm like, oh, well, they live down the street. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, do you see them? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, do you see these people? No. He's like, so you see no one. And I'm just like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
I never thought of it like
so
that.
the wedding I went to, Astor, I've known them since they were 14. They were, I lived with them when my mom kicked me out of the house in Tucson. So I lived with their whole family. They're some of my closest, I consider them family. They live in fucking Georgetown. Guess how many times I've seen them since they moved up here since 2017? 0.
Oh, wow.
Like 0 since they've moved to Georgetown. I think when they first moved up here, we hung out.
Like once?
I could count on my one hand how many times I've actually seen them.
Wow.
And when I go hang out with them, it's great, and I love being there, and like it's just like we're right back in it. But they live 15 minutes away from me, and I never see them
Right.
ever.
Yeah. And that's part of the Jomo that I got to be aware of myself, because and this was something I didn't realize until COVID. I found a lot of very cool things out about myself during COVID, because I was one of the fortunate people that wasn't negatively affected in a big way as far as financials, deaths, all that stuff. Like we pretty much hunkered down. We were okay. And one of the things I found out about myself was I'd always lean into that introvert moniker, right? But about 2 weeks into COVID, I was sitting there with Mon, and I'm like, man, I need to fucking talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And it was like, it made me realize how important my relationships with like people like you, the yoga community, I do have some very close people that like Cameron and all these people that I've gotten close to over the years, that I guess I just took for granted, because we do have a schedule more or less of when I see these people, right?
Yeah.
You guys, the teachers that I work with, blah, blah, blah. And so when that was all taken away, and I was just kind of like reveling in my introvertedness, like you said, book and corner and like Netflix, and just like, yeah, cool, smoking weed, doing nothing. This is great. Then I realized, I'm like, dude, I know I need this.
Yeah.
And so I think there is that, like, yes, honor your energy, honor what you feel safe doing and what you feel vulnerable doing, but also like know how good it feels to have a good conversation with somebody you really love.
Yeah. And I think what I learned was, with COVID, the pressure of people calling me or texting me, like, hey, let's go do stuff. Hey, let's go do stuff. Like no one could do anything. So that pressure, external pressure was off my back. So it felt nice to be able to do what is natural for me, which is also hunker down and be a homebody. If I don't have a reason to go out, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I need to go explore today. Like I just need to get out of the house or whatever. But once, 4 months went by or a year went by, there are things that I've realized that I do need to do, or else my default will take over, and that's when I get into my manic depressive episode. So it's like it does behoove me to have some kind of like, okay, I need to go do the podcast today, even if I don't really feel like I'm chatty or I don't feel good. Once I get here, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But it's that movement
Sometimes
of like,
gearing up,
gearing up is always hard. But I think it's more about relieving myself of the guilt of not saying yes to everything that comes my way. And if I feel like I really want to do, like, I'm saving my energy for the stuff I really want to do rather than just doing it because I think I should do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, I feel better about saying no to stuff now. Then the pressure doesn't get to me as much anymore. Like, I'm okay with being like, that doesn't feel like a joyful thing for me to do.
Tiffany was reading this book on time management and stuff, and one of the takeaways is that I got from it, by proxy was, I was got a text and I think it was work related, and it was just like, you can just say no. Like, just N-O.
Is a full
like,
sentence.
No fucking, got this going on.
So sorry. I wish I could. I would totally come if it wasn't for
actually,
this.
No, I was going to, I think what she corrected me on, awesome. That's what happens when you... Anyway, I got asked to, cover a shift on my day off, and I don't fuck around with my days off.
Yeah.
Day on, yeah, you can call me in early, but days off, I don't fuck around with that. But my response originally was like, sorry, I can't. She's like, what are you apologizing for? Like, you don't need to apologize for that. You haven't done anything wrong, You can just say no.
Right.
Like, N-O.
Yeah.
Like, well, what about, I'm like literally like, well, this is just kind of inherently just something I do is like automatic, like, have an excuse and I need to explain why I can't do it as opposed to just saying no.
Right, yeah.
And
And I think we've pushed ourselves into that culture of having to be apologetic for giving up your own time, right? One of the things that I talk to a lot of my clients about is because, we have shit going on in our lives. We have relationships, we have families, we have work, we have whatever we have going on that we put our time towards, and we end up sacrificing so much of our own time that we feel bad about taking time for ourselves. Like going to get, going to get a massage, going to do something healing for you, going to fucking whatever, walk, right? You feel guilty about that shit. And so we have to take that back and create that space for ourselves. Like when I have my sound baths, the one of the things I tell people at the end is thank you for making this time for yourself.
Yeah.
Because we have to. Nobody's going to give you time and say, you know what, here's time that you need, right?
Yeah.
You have to take that time for yourself and show yourself that it's important to do that shit, right? And that's like, I appreciate the idea of getting more towards the ability to find time and just like, call out of work or Mom used to call it calling in awesome. Like I just need a day for me, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be an excuse, right?
Well, and I'm supposed to work 8 to 10 hours a day.
All right, calling in awesome is a restaurant manager. Come on, Adam.
Calling
Come
in
the
awesome.
fuck on.
I'd be fired on the spot.
Okay. We had on calls and shit when we all worked together and stuff. But and I love me some Mon. We've talked about how you've been kind of by the stable rock and whatnot. But yeah, calling in awesome. That's a fucking...
It's an internal term that I would say to myself, probably, yeah.
Oh, man, I don't know what I fucking would have said to that about...
But, it's not always, skirting the responsibilities you have, if you're working, do your thing unless you need some time, right? But what I'm trying to say is just like when you have the time, like we need to find time to create time for ourselves.
Yeah.
And through that, like being honest to, with our people, with ourselves, and just finding
calling in awesome.
I love that term, man.
I've never fucking heard that.
Yeah. This is you're like on a boat.
It is.
So Monica's classic for this. Like she'll have to work at 5.
God.
And she'll be on a boat until like 4. And be like, I
that
can get
stresses
back in time.
me the fuck out.
And then she's
my God.
just driving, changing in the car. And so she's like, I'd just like to call in awesome one day and be like, this is so awesome. I just want to stay here on this boat and not have to go to work. And I'm like, well, I don't know how that would go over.
I love that. Well, you have, you gotta, if you're well rested, you get 8 hours.
Yep.
Then you're supposed to work 8 to 10 hours.
Yep.
So that's already, and so the time that is left after those two things, they are precious hours. I'm just done doing stuff because I feel obligated to do it.
You got to factor in eating, in shitting and stuff. Those usually go hand in hand.
I usually do them both at the same time.
Oh, you combo.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Word.
Like
Maximize.
Olean chips, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right through,
Just in and
right
out.
through.
Wow.
In and out.
Yeah, exactly. Whoa, wow. I'm actually reading a book right now. And speaking of night shifts, before we tangent off of that, It's called Why We Sleep, and it's the science of sleeping and what happens when we sleep and the different types of REM and NREM sleep and all this shit, right? Fucking fascinating. I love this book. One of the things it talks about is sleeping in your circadian rhythm, right? And that's sleeping with like traditional time, right? So we sleep when it's nighttime, we're awake when it's daytime.
Yeah.
Trying to get anywhere between 6 to 8 hours of sleep. We could talk later about the negative effects of getting 6 hours of sleep or less, which I didn't have any idea. But the thing that he talks about is the night shifts, right? So we have this nurses, police officers, whatever, restaurant workers. We have all these people working night shifts now. So that's outside of your circadian rhythm, right? And so when you're working night shifts, you fuck up your body's chemistry so much that it opens your ability to get things like cancer or arthritis or things by like 200 to 300%. So much so that the World Health Organization is now considering or is now classifying night shift work as a carcinogen.
Whoa.
Cancer causing. From the health organization. So like this is how this guy is like one of the first people that's put a lot of research into sleep. So all the research he's been doing is like 20 years. First book I've read about it.
Well, and also probably to do vitamin D.
Totally.
Like
right?
not
Natural
being able to,
right?
just not like those 4:30 sunsets. I can feel it in my body, mentally, physically, emotionally. So if that is your everyday life, is just dark when you're awake, that's rough.
I get stoked. I mean, in the summer months when I get off work and it's not pitch black.
I know. Yesterday was the last 9 o'clock sunset, and I got sad about it.
But it's like all these assholes who are like the 9-to-5ers who just never worked the restaurant gig or whatever. It's just like, oh, are you sleepy? I'm like, well, I went to bed at like 2.
Yeah.
Even before I went, even now, it's like, and I'm like, you don't go to bed at you get off work at 11. You don't go to bed at 6:30.
I go to bed at between 3 and 4 o'clock is usually when I fall asleep.
Oh shit.
Because I have a mental illness and insomnia.
Good times.
But I get about 6 hours of sleep a night probably, and that's probably not enough.
Yeah.
But I can't. My Jomo is staying up at night when everyone else is asleep because no one expects anything of me. I can do exactly what I want to do. Everyone else in the world is asleep. No one's like, it is more of like, that is my time for me. And I know it's really unhealthy, but it is such a hard habit for me to break because if I go to bed, that means I got to get up and do it over again tomorrow. So if I can like prolong it as much as I can, I do. Yeah. But I acknowledge that is not a good thing for me.
Yeah, no, I sleep like shit too.
Yeah.
Like I've fortunate been able to dial back the 3s and 4s.
Yeah.
Back when I was drinking, it was like started at like 3 and then it was like 4, 5, 6. It's like, fuck, you gotta go to bed at some point.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm not even having fun. I'm watching a documentary on Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher at like 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? Like it's not like I'm partying.
Like a movie starring Mackenzie Phillips from like 1992.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Well, yeah, I'm doing shit I want to do, watching Debbie Reynolds documentaries. That's me time, okay, motherfucker?
Did you guys ever watch that reboot of Supermarket Sweep? With I think it was
Guy Ritchie or not Guy Ritchie. I wish Guy Ritchie did.
Yeah, Guy Ritchie. Yeah, it's a lot of guns.
No, Guy Fieri. Doesn't he does a Supermarket Sweep?
No, that's like a cooking show.
Oh, okay, all right. Well,
no, I think is it Leslie Jones, the chick from Saturday Night Live?
Oh,
yeah.
I love Leslie
Jones. Yes.
I never watched the reboot. Supermarket Sweep was like my all-time favorite game show when I was a kid.
I never got into that one.
Oh, I never got into that one.
No, me either.
Oh,
I mean, I watched it, but like.
Fuck. God, what were you watching? Guts?
Yeah, probably Guts. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Guts. Island of the Hidden Temple, or Legends of the Hidden Temple. Yeah, the Silver Monkeys. Yeah, I was watching those.
No, I was like a Price is Right. I mean, we didn't have a lot of options.
Yeah,
I had local channels. Yeah, so like Price is Right. There's the fucking Jeopardy and shit like that. You know. But mid-afternoon was like either fucking Jerry Springer, one of those kind of type of talk shows.
Oh, yeah, Maury and all that shit.
Maury, yeah.
Dude, Maury
what was her name?
Sally
Ricky
Josie.
Lake,
Oh,
yeah.
Ricky.
I think I got down with Ricky Lake.
I did like Ricky.
That was cutting edge shit. She had like
her.
I think she had the dude from Typo Negative on her show once. I'm like, yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Typo Negative.
Another big Jomo that that was a schadenfreude a little bit was watching every flight in the country get canceled over the summer. Like, I don't like traveling in the summer, and I know that's like when everyone's supposed to travel, but I fucking hate it because everyone and their children and their grandmother and all extended relatives, that's when everyone has off school, and I get it, that's the travel time, but I fucking hate traveling in the summer.
Do you have TSA pre-check?
No, I mean I probably should, but like it's more of like I don't travel during Christmas, holidays because it's just it is too chaotic for me. And when I see travel disasters happen over the holidays, I'm like, my God, I'm so glad I'm not going anywhere.
You sound like the nanny on Mrs. Doubtfire. I don't do babies.
I don't
do diapers.
I don't do cleaning. I don't do. I am that bitch. Oh my God. And
She's another great supporting actress.
She is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not even
Holy
nominated.
Shit.
I just saw her yesterday.
You know, she was like a tour de force actor, career actor's like,
That's what we all know her
I will
from.
fucking slay this scene. It's like she's used to doing like hard-driven character performances. It's like, I've got a free afternoon.
That 30 seconds, she is an icon in that 30-second
she was
scene.
in Liar Liar. She's Jim Carrey's secretary.
Oh, so
Oh my
she had
God,
a-
that's right.
So she had a
In my
big-
brain, it was a different actress. Yeah,
I
you're
just
right.
watched that with the kid the other day.
I don't think I've seen that movie since the theaters.
What?
Well, so
It's-
Harper's going. We're introducing '90s comedy to Harper.
The pen is blue.
So we're going through.
The pen is blue. The goddamn pen is blue. It still hit. I
It's
love
great.
that movie.
It was still funny.
Yep.
So we watched The Mask, which was fucking
Nah,
awesome.
nah,
Still
okay,
good. It was
yeah.
still good. When the dog gets a mask, I mean, come on.
It's
you
pretty-
cannot
it's
laugh
pretty
at
The
that
good.
musical
shit, you know?
numbers and shit.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic. It was still good. But so we did The Mask. Oh, she actually wanted to watch Breakfast at Tiffany's.
I still haven't even
Oh, the Breakfast Club. No, sorry, Breakfast
I was-
Club.
I don't think
Yeah.
I've seen that either.
Breakfast Club, yeah.
It was
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
all right, good.
Okay.
Dialogue 80s movie.
You gotta make her watch Nothing to Lose, dude. That shit's canon.
Yeah.
We will watch that. She just got into Martin Lawrence. We watched Blue Streak.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liked Blue Streak. That was a good one.
Yeah, 90s comedy is where it's at.
But
I-
it's just so fun to watch her like get into that because like it's what I grew up on.
Well,
It's
just
like,
comedy,
peak.
I mean, I can't find anything. I find everything funny, but nothing funny at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like, so literally there's only probably been like 5 or 6 comedies in the last 20 years that I think are actually like worthy.
okay.
Yeah.
You know, Superbad's one of them, but even that's kind of like, that's 15 years old
Yeah,
now.
totally.
I thought Good Kids or was it the kids movie directed by Seth Rogen? Or
Oh,
forget-
yeah.
That shit is fucking
yeah.
funny.
Good.
No,
Yeah.
Mandy and I talk about this all the time where it's like because we did comedy, but like for a living, like we don't. I very rarely laugh out loud
Yeah.
when I'm watching
Oh, yeah.
something. Like objectively in my brain, I go, "Oh my God, that's so
It's
smart!
always-
Oh my God, that's so funny! I'm
It's
really
Always
enjoying
Sunny
this."
gets me to laugh out loud.
There are very few
Yeah.
things that will get me to laugh out loud, but I don't. I hardly laugh out loud
Yeah.
when I'm watching something. So when it does, it's nice when it happens.
Yeah.
But like in the 90s, there was just funny ass movies coming out all the time.
It
Oh,
really
yeah.
was, and
Yeah.
that's
Even the shitty ones were still pretty good.
Yes.
Like Beverly Hills Ninja.
Yeah. Oh my
still great.
God.
Beverly
yes.
Hills, the Beverly Hillbillies, right?
Yeah.
That was even fun.
Jim Varney and
Yeah.
Erica
Yes.
Leniak.
That was great.
Diedrich
But that's the
Bader.
thing, it's
Fuck,
like-
there was quite a cast in that fucking
In those type of movies, there is potential for comedy in every scene.
Yeah.
Like either somebody in the background's doing something funny, they've just made some stupid reference.
They
that's
ham it
funny.
up.
It's so just packed.
Yeah.
With comedy, like the Hot Shots movies. I mean, everything.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
shooting fucking
Oh.
chickens and bows and arrows and shit, right?
Hot
it's like
Shots is so fucking
so great.
funny. The first season.
Has she
Everyone
watched, like-
Robin
drinks-
Hood Men in Tights.
Everyone
the guy's
drinks
bowl
on
keeps
me.
moving
Oh,
around,
yeah.
you know?
Has she watched any of the Naked Gun movies?
No, we haven't gotten there yet.
Okay,
Not
all
there
right,
yet.
yeah.
Did you ever make it through that fugitive spoof they did, Wrongfully Accused? With Leslie
I'm
Nielsen.
sure I
it
did.
shows him
I'm
like
sure I did.
running. It shows him on the cover with a one arm, like running with the one arm.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's
No, I
called
don't-
Wrongfully Accused. I never.
Oh my God.
That was a guy who was a fucking serious actor who started
Yeah.
doing comedy in like the ass end of his career.
But the reason
love
why
Leslie Nielsen.
it's hilarious is because his character doesn't know he's in a comedy. And those are the movies that make me laugh. It's the like Jim Carrey knows he's in a comedy. Still funny.
Yeah.
But like the ones that do not realize they are
like
in a
the
comedy.
chief of police on Police Academy.
Yeah. It is the most serious
Love
thing.
that guy so much.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah. Also similar to the head guy in the Hot Shots movies. He's like flossing his ears.
Fucking Sheen.
Oh, Lloyd Bridges.
Lloyd
character?
Bridges.
Lloyd Bridges, yeah.
Totally. Fucking
Lloyd Bridges.
When him and the dog, Saddam and the dog, like melt together in the second movie.
I love he's like talking to Charlie Sheen in the office. And he's like, look, they're all depressed. And he looks at a picture in his office. He's like, nobody's even moving. He thinks he's looking out a window. He's like, hey, Charlie, you down there. Can't even hear me. It's just so good. There's so much comedy, man. I can't get over it.
Talented family.
She might be too young for Strangers with Candy, but if
God,
you might
And that
want to,
Stephen Colbert was in that too.
everybody's in it. Stephen Colbert is in it, but Paul Dinello and there's a bunch of cameos
Who's the
in
main,
there. Amy Sedaris. But as I have my forum,
Yeah, exactly. She's
I've
got
been
that tattooed
rewatching
on her
that,
arm.
and it holds up in such a like. It couldn't have been done by anybody else, I don't think, because there is such a fine line between making fun of it, satire, and being absolutely offensive, and it's like equally both, but it's okay
Was Colbert
somehow.
the closeted gay teacher or something like
Yes,
that?
yeah.
Like, fuck, I only watched a couple.
With the art teacher.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I remember not getting that show.
Yeah.
You should watch it again.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Because
it's-
what was it? Probably like I was 18, maybe 19.
Yeah.
Fucking,
You-
when it
it's
came
You
out.
and
made
the,
for
you and the
adults.
homeboys like flipped off the UGK tape and
Yeah.
put that on. You're just like, I'm not feeling it, dog.
Nope.
So she might be a little too young for it to really have all the jokes, but
Yeah.
like you should rewatch it.
I'll
It's
check that out.
it's worth a rewatch.
Fucking Strangers with Candy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
a good
love
one.
going back and watching things that I watched and then getting more of the jokes.
Yeah.
You know, like getting so much deeper into the jokes of like, holy shit, like I had no idea what that meant.
That's what that joke was about. Oh,
Like my
okay.
dad, my dad used to say this thing, and it was all like funny, haha, dad's making jokes, until one day you realize what he said, and he used to say to all three boys in a joking way, "I'm going to trade you for a dog and shoot the dog." Just gonna let that land for a moment.
Yeah, it's
Oh man, that's got layers. That's got so many layers. Wow.
I think I maybe 14, 15, maybe finally when he said it, and I was like, holy shit, man.
That's dark.
That's fucked up, man.
if you were a wise ass, you'd be like, who's gonna fucking take that trade?
Right.
Like, you fucking 3 sons?
Oh my god, man. Yeah. Crazy shit.
It's like that. It's like I had a coworker's dad used to spank him and shit when he was being an asshole or whatever, and his dad was like, "This hurts me more than it hurts you."
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
like, and he said, "Well, you want to switch?"
Yeah.
The fucking best line I've ever heard.
Dickhead. Love
Oh
it.
my god, man. Yeah, those are the shitty lines. Like as a parent, I've tried my hardest to never let those generic lines ever come out of my mouth.
They gotta slip out though.
And it does happen
Yeah.
sometimes because that's our conditioning, right? But it's being aware that that's the thing that's happening. Like you're trying to dominate the conversation,
Yeah.
or you're trying to. The big one for me actually with my that I had a hard time with was look at me when I'm talking to you. And I remember saying that one time to my oldest.
It fills me with
and,
rage just hearing that.
And as soon as I said it, I felt so bad because I could see how defeated she looked because of whatever the conversation was. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But she's like, head down, shoulders sunken in, and I'm forcing her out of that to look at me to be scolded.
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't right.
I want you to really feel
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
And so it was one of those like immediate thank you for allowing my ego to check myself and not continue on with this. Let me start my 2-part apology by giving you a hug. And
Yeah.
but it's hard because by no fault of anybody's, our parents did what they fucking thought was right.
Yeah.
It was probably way better than their parents. You
Yeah.
know? And so
They were liberal.
Right?
Yeah. Fuck.
So but it's those moments of like how can you break the cycle?
Yeah.
Fucking parenting. Man.
Yeah. I'm glad mine are just they die quickly. So that's one good thing about my parenting
You can
skills.
take 'em out and shoot
I
'em.
take them out. Yeah.
I was. Have you seen?
Look at me when I'm talking to you.
Have you seen Puss in Boots?
I haven't watched the last one because it seems like it's gonna make me cry.
Okay, so I just watched it with Harps the other day, and
That's like 98% Rotten Tomatoes. Like everyone loves it.
It was great. It was fantastic. And there's a little stray dog that's disguised as a cat, and he's got this little cat hat on, and he's eating with the cats. So when he's head down, he looks like a cat, but he lifts his head up, and he's like this mangy, scraggly dog with his tongue hanging out. And I was like, that kind of looks like Jeff.
It's Jeff.
And then so there the puss was like, what's your name? He's like, I don't have a name. He's like, I've been called asshole. He went through this whole lot of names, and he's like, I've been called dickhead and this and Jeff and that, and I'm like, he said Jeff.
Oh,
what the fuck,
buddy,
man?
it was
cool.
him. Oh,
It totally made me think of you. I was like,
Jeff.
fucking little Jeff.
He has been called all those names for sure.
I
That's so
thought
accurate.
of that story. I was telling that to Tiff. The Jeff took a shit on your dog.
Yeah,
after
my
your
dead dog.
Your dog got put down, and Jeff goes over and takes a shit on it. It's like the most fucked up thing I've ever heard. It's like, finally, you're not gonna be able to dodge this one.
Dude, I swear to God, in another life, he was a fucking 90s sitcom comedian. Like a grumpy old man that just got reincarnated dog was like, what the fuck?
Oh my god. I love
Oh,
that
yeah,
so
he was a
much.
series regular on something in another life, for sure. He's a funny little motherfucker.
Oh my god, I love it. Yeah. Well, do you have any Jomo moments coming up? Things that you're skirting out on that make you happy?
I'm just really glad that I don't have a level of love for an artist like the Taylor Swift fan base
that shit's
does.
insane.
Because if I really love someone that much and it was really that important for me to see them in concert, the hoops that they have to jump through and the money that they have to pay, it makes me happy. Like, and I love Beyonce, but I have never spent more than $200 on a ticket and won't.
I don't think I have.
And I'm going to Renaissance in September, and I paid $90.
Well,
like at nosebleed, because I'll have fun, whatever. Like it is not that, and not to say that there aren't other people of other artists that are crazy about them and will do crazy things for them. But the T Swift culture is so on another level that as soon as the Ticketmaster crash happened, I was like, I am just glad that I'm, because they're losing their minds, they're having mental breakdowns, they're crying, it ruins their entire day. And I was like, I'm just glad I don't love something or need something that bad because it would bum me out.
Saw this
and they're standing outside the stadiums, camping out just to listen.
Two merch trucks on either end of the stadium that are open like today.
Yeah. Because she's Friday and Saturday.
So this is the thing. Well, no, I think it's Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
thank you.
And this is the thing is like people are spending. I think the ticket is like $1,000 if you want to go.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but like this is the thing is like how many parents or whatever are gonna go wait in line all fucking day on a Saturday to buy a $140 fucking graphic printed sweatshirt because that is the best. And kudos to them, but the best they could do for their kid.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my God, she's uber fucking talented because everybody is going bananas for this shit.
She is an artistic force, but she is also a marketing force. Like she knows exactly what she's doing, and kudos to her. Because
had a lot of help too.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But like how she's doing this tour is that it's the Eras tour, so it's not the same show every night. So depending on what show you go to, you're gonna get a different song. So if your favorite song is you might have to go to Philadelphia. So not only are you not getting a show, and if you live in Seattle, like now there's this pressure of FOMO of like, but what if she plays my favorite song and it's not at this one? I got to get a ticket for another city. Like it is a genius marketing move. And I commend her for that. But like that, if Beyonce did something like that, I would be very fucking upset.
Yeah.
Like, what if my show's not the best show? I have to go to and it drives into that
Kinda happened to me
American.
with Rolling
I have to
Stones.
have all, I have to have the best thing and I have to experience all of it. And now with social media, she's so present on social media. And she does all kinds of personal messages. So she keeps her fan base so close that they think they have this really personal connection with her. So it is.
But she sent that out to 150 million people.
But she'll like comment on people's comments. So
Yeah,
it's like, oh my God, Taylor Swift noticed me, and she's invited fans over to her house, like personal house, to have like an album release or something like that. So she does these things to keep them in this like friend zone that like if Beyonce was that accessible, I might be singing a different tune. You know what I mean? So it's just, she's very smart at what she does. Right. But then it creates fucking chaos.
So
when she
it's
comes
funny
into town.
because I couldn't think of, I was like, well, fuck, I couldn't even think of one of her songs. Like, and obviously I'm not the chief demo.
Yeah, no.
But then Tiffany was like, Shake It Off. I'm like, oh, that's a fucking hit.
Yeah.
That's a fucking hit. And that was just the first
I
one.
like
And then
that one.
And then that was stuck in my head all fucking, it's been stuck in my head for 3 days.
Don't say it again because I'll be singing it in
I
my
haven't
brain.
even heard the song.
Yeah.
Like, that's how fucking catchy that shit is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I ain't paying $1,200 to watch it live.
That's fucking crazy.
And
I wouldn't even play it.
Yeah, no, and I paid $200 for Joni Mitchell lawn seats, and that was like my concert of all
You were at
concerts.
the Gorge, right?
Yes.
Did she play Coyote?
No.
That's fine. I don't
She
really
didn't.
like Joni Mitchell.
Oh my God, get out of this room. I know you don't like Joni Mitchell, but like
Is it yellow cars or whatever? Parking
big
car?
yellow taxi.
Thank you. I was getting there.
You got a yellow car. I got a plan to get us out of heaven. Working at a convent. That's that one, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
don't fuck with me on Tracy Chapman's first album. I will defend that till the day I die.
It's a great album. It's a great
First album is smokes, but I'm not a Joni Mitchell. I do appreciate that she did have a best of called Misses. I'm like, you got hits and then you got Misses. I see what you did.
I see what you did there.
Joni.
Well, in that same Taylor Swift vein, I've heard that the new Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the animated Spider-Man, has released. Reportedly now, there's been at least 5 different versions of the movie reported. So they released the movie and didn't tell anybody that all the things are different.
Oh, that's so
it can
smart.
go in all these different ways. And so now
it's Spider-Man Eras Tour.
Yeah, totally, right?
Oh
Exactly.
my God, that's
and so
so
now
smart.
it's like they don't even, the studio still hasn't said how many versions they've released.
Well,
so now it's drawing that same thing where people are constantly going to all these different movies because even the same movie theater could be showing a different version in a different theater.
That's a great way to get money during a fucking writers and actors strike. Right. So that is probably a really smart idea for them to do.
Yeah.
Because we are not going to be having new content for
They
at
haven't
least
asked
a year.
us to weigh in.
Yeah.
Well, we're not members of any of those guilds mainly.
No.
I have a buddy that's picking it over there.
Yeah.
Julian. He's and that guy Mandy from Princess Bride.
Mandy Patinkin.
Mandy Patinkin.
Yeah, it's like very strong out there.
Yeah.
Man, I hope they get some shit figured out, man, because it seems like they're really getting screwed on like residuals and like streaming rights.
Zordon got paid $150.
Zordon.
Okay, so I read this. So the guy who fucking is Zordon on the kids show Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
You don't have to tell me who he is. I know exactly who it is.
Zordon got paid $150. Guy went in one day, had his face fucking painted or whatever. They recorded him just saying like Rangers or whatever the fuck. Probably like a day's worth of shit. He got paid $150. They used his likeness for 9 seasons.
Well, that is what was in the new contract
Yeah.
that they proposed, which is what Fran Drescher, the head of SAG-AFTRA, she turned down because in the new contract that the studios are putting out, they want to pay background actors $150 a day, AI scan their likeness, and then be able to use it for eternity with no residuals. So that's just like one aspect of how AI is fucking up the industry.
Yeah.
Like it's not just the writing aspect, but there are like
Zordon.
Orange is the New Black. One of the main actors on that, Miko, I can't remember her last name, but she gets residuals for a penny.
Yeah.
And she was one of the series regulars.
Holy shit!
Like it's like people think it's like fucking Meryl Streep and Mandy Patinkin that are petitioning because they're not getting paid. It's not about that. It's about like literally everybody else. It's not getting paid. That you can get $7,000 for an entire, like you could be a series regular and get $7,000 total.
That's
for the run.
Crazy.
And then you have shorter runs. There's no 22 episode shows anymore, so you're 10 episodes instead of 22, and then you may or may not come back.
Yeah. Just fucking feasting
fucking
at that
great.
craft table.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, I hope something like this, the next step goes to streaming music, so the music artists get better rights for streaming.
Yeah.
Because people that have like billion hits, or streams are still getting paid 50 cents.
Oh, yeah.
And they've been
pennies
saying
shit,
that for years.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
Still
it's
haven't gotten the actually none of my shit's streaming on Spotify. I'm like, maybe I don't think MySpace sends out checks. Tens and
they
tens
probably done
of
on 8
plays.
tracks.
Tens and tens.
Yeah.
Well, good times.
I was on Reddit today and I saw an ad for fucking like Best Westerns like Fomo, and I'm like, oh, that's really obvious. Like fear of missed offers. I'm like, whoa, no.
No.
And then I thought, I'm like, actually, yeah, I was booking tickets to go to LA for a dude's trip to go to a football game and stuff, and like we were all trying to upgrade to first class at the same time because it was $50 more.
Oh, yeah.
Totally reasonable.
Totally, yeah.
While doing that, my buddy books his ticket, and then I'm like hitting through, and then it's just like, we're sorry, your ticket is no longer available and shit. Ticket for first class is now $1,000.
What?
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess I did have a fear of missed offer because I'm going to have to fly coach while my 2 asshole friends fly in first class.
God damn it. Yeah, I think I would disconnecting helps with my FOMO a lot. Because if it's out of sight,
Go
out of
Jack
mind,
White.
then I can
Go
just
Jack White, yo.
Yeah, I'm really trying. Like I do TikTok after work just to scroll because it's nobody I know and it's just stupid videos. But even then, it's just like it gets to me. So I've just been the last couple of weeks really just trying to like not be on my phone unless I have to.
Yeah.
And I've been
Well, it's like
I've been happier.
I don't know. See, at this point, I need the smartphone. So even if I wanted to jokingly go to a fucking Nokia brick phone, like my car wouldn't even fucking work.
Right.
That's true.
Well,
A lot
and
of our
all
stuff is tied
tickets
to
are
it.
all Ticketmaster. You can't print them out.
Yep.
You gotta have them on your phone. You have
still need to buy
you
printer ink
can't get
'cause
an
you told me
Uber,
that-
can't get a Lyft if you're stranded somewhere. Like it's impossible. Not impossible, but it's like it's a rich people privilege. Like you can't not have a smartphone.
Like COVID was just like, oh, you got to scan this QR code, and people were like,
Well, our whole menu at our restaurant is digital. We don't even have paper. We don't even have it accessible.
Yeah.
Like unless you have a QR code, you have to borrow our oyster covered laptop, like or iPad. We have to bring it to the table. Like we don't have an even option for paper.
holy shit.
Because it changes every day, so it makes sense.
On that?
Yeah, we have to do it all the time. Old people hate it. They're like, we don't do that. I go, I know, but like we have to give you the iPad. Like we don't have any paper. And they're like trying to scroll and zoom in, and like I get why we do it. It's sustainable because like otherwise we'd be printing menus every other day.
we don't have a print and drink menu because of
But yeah,
that.
you can't exist without digital now.
Fuck.
And it's hard to have access to it and make the conscious choice of I don't have to pick it up right now.
Right.
So it's a muscle training exercise for me.
Right. I heard a person speaking one time, and they were talking about addiction, and they were like, "Okay, put your cell phone down, leave it there for 10 seconds, and then every time you try to grab for it, that's what an addict feels like.
Yeah.
Trying to grab for their thing, catch themselves. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It's like that's a real thing. Like,
And it's
we're so
unconscious
addicted,
sometimes. Like
so
you
unconscious.
just
Yep.
Well, like, have you guys ever felt the need to do that, like, game where motherfuckers are, like, out at dinner and put the cell phones on the first one? Like, I've never actually,
I've never
like,
done that.
quote, being in the moment. If I'm not in the moment, I'll be on my phone way too fucking much. But it's just, like, I don't need to be on the phone when I'm around other people.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Service industry question.
Yeah.
So I just said that our menu is digital. You have to have your phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. Something that is bringing me so much rage recently is when
Motherfuckers are
I
not even
bring.
wanna try that motherfucking QR code.
No,
Like,
no,
oh,
no.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
no.
I'm like, can you?
I'm just acknowledging that you do have to have your phone out. But when I have 5 plates in my hand, that I have no extra hands, and you have water glasses and 8 phones out on the table, and not one person,
Moves a fucking
nobody
thing.
moves their fucking phone.
Yeah.
And I go, I would do it, but both of my hands are literally full with the food that I am bringing you, that you ordered, that you are expecting to come, and you look at me like I'm an idiot. Like I'm just supposed to stand there and be like, I literally will stand there now and just wait until people start moving stuff. And the only things they don't move are their phones. And the things I need them to move are their phones because it doesn't need to be on the table. And our tables are, 12 inches by 2 inches. Like they are so small.
I'm trying to
but
think
it is
of-
so rage inducing for me where I'm like, put your fucking phone in your pocket. It's not a package. Like slip it in your pocket. You have a purse that's hanging on the hook right there. Throw it in. You don't need to have it out right now. And I don't know if it's just happening at my restaurant because we have the digital thing that people think they need to have it all the time, but it's making me insane.
I mean, admittedly, you work at a nicer place than I do, but I don't necessarily. I kind of am just like, hey, we're gonna make room. I kind of am much more casual with that.
Yeah,
because it's just kind of like.
I've
Here's
started
your
to
fucking
say,
shit.
I've literally started to say, I was like, if you guys move your phone, I could put a plate right there. But like, I have to tell them to do that.
Dude,
and then they'll move it over. They won't take it off the table. I'm
almost daily, I walk over to whoever's fortunate or unfortunate to be working with me. I'm just like, I swear to fucking God, these people have never been in a restaurant before.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck this works. I fucking know how this shit works. I knew how this shit works before I got into restaurants.
I am holding a metal tray that weighs 8 pounds full of ice. My hand is frostbitten, and I'm waiting for you to
I
make
forget about
room.
you having to do stuff like that. Yeah,
I'm waiting, and it's not even like, I'm doing it because like it's a rude thing. It's not a rude thing. There's no space on the table because everyone's phones are out, so I can't put the plate down, and my hand is on fire because I have an ice tray.
So
move your fucking iPhone.
This is totally my vibe at my job, though. We don't even have large trays. We don't have jack stands. Literally, like everything is
the
just
trays
like
that
the
I carry,
pub
dude,
plates. So it's like 3 at a time. Like it doesn't matter how big the fucking table is. Like 3 at a time, guys. Let's go. 3 at a time.
Yeah.
Fucking dude. Fuck all that shit.
Salish sampler. I have a whole Dungeness crab, 2 dozen fucking oysters.
Steamers, like having to run steamers back in the day.
So I have
spilling somebody's schmegma covered fucking shells all over you.
I got mussel shell juice. I got butter dripping down my. And they're just looking at me, and I was like, I don't know. What the answer is, my Android is here. I don't know. I
the
can't
worst
move
shit
it.
about that is
I'm
like,
like, God
you're
damn
spilling that shit on you after they've left. Like they've already like quote, not to be an asshole, but here we go. Like we're done. Like you've paid left. I've quote made my money from you or whatever, and now I'm getting this part of it. But like getting spilled like fucking clam juice on you.
I gotta stick my thumb in your oyster dip.
4 fucking hours left.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna walk up and just have clam in the next like 9 tables.
Well, and we don't have a dish pit, right, at Melrose, so we have to bust our own tables, which is fine. But the dirty dishes, we have to unload all of them. Put them in little plastic tubs, stack them in accordance to their size, and you have to empty out butters. You have to empty out any oyster dip because we don't have a dish pit. We just have the little nozzle.
So like when
so you really have to like clean it before it even goes in the bucket.
So yeah, you're basically washing your own dishes at that point.
Well, not even that.
Like,
I'm in people's mouths, basically, because I have to scoop out, like, my
it's like
thumb.
every table had wings.
And I have to...
Every table had wings, dog. Think about that. Like, I've never worked at a wing place, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Every fucking table has bone-in chicken wings. You're just like, I gotta clean up all this shit that was in your fucking mouth. Yeah,
dude.
Fuck.
Oh, yeah. And just goop. I'm just covered in goop all the time, which is fine. Like, that part, like, doesn't bother me, but it's just like it's the mess that people create, and the one thing that they don't take off of the table is their phones. And I haven't felt rage in a while. Like, I've been really good with my rage, and this has been a really good practice
you've been back
in my
in the
rage.
restaurant industry for now 8 months now. I mean, I know
no,
you're
not even since April. Well, yeah, I guess since November. But I've been doing okay. Like, because it's fine. Like, the environment. I was getting rage at Rough and Tumble for other reasons, but it hasn't been too bad. That's the only thing that's really gotten to me.
So when you go over there with that scenario and kick over a table,
oh my God,
then we'll know that rage has moved a little higher.
I can't feel my index fingers. My God.
Oh, cold ass trays.
Yeah, they're cold.
Fucking shaved ice in there. Huh?
Yeah. Or they'll like, I'll clean their tables off, and I'll have 2 ice trays in my hands. And I'm like, can we just ask you a question about the oysters real quick? And I was like,
yeah.
mm-hmm.
Like that episode when
Mo,
that Simpsons when Mo like has the fucking birthday fries like in his head. He's like, fucking, please eat these fries quickly, kid. The basket's very hot.
Ooh, Simpsons would be a good one for Harper. Has she watched The Simpsons?
Yeah, okay, so we just had a conversation about that.
Because that hits different, too,
it does,
the older you get.
I stopped watching it after, like, season 15 or something.
Oh, yeah, no, I haven't watched any of the new ones.
Yeah, I haven't watched any new ones since probably, like, the early 2000s, maybe 2001, maybe late 90s. Yeah. But for some reason, and I never question it, people have their own reasons, but Harper's mom, Sydney, didn't want her to watch, like, Family Guy or Simpsons and shit like that.
Fair enough.
But she's 14 now, and now she's watching like not How I Met Your Mother, but New Girl.
Okay.
You know, so there's like more adult comedy
Sure.
that's getting in there. And she but she came to me and she was like, yeah, I was talking to Mom about why I can't watch The Simpsons. She's like, I don't care if you watch Simpsons. You watch whatever you want. Just don't watch Family Guy yet.
Well,
So I'm like, all right, cool.
I was gonna
prom
say,
night
Family Guy's
dumpster baby. Got no mom or dad. I mean, that's not going to happen on The Simpsons. So I get why Family Guy you might want to wait for Family Guy. There's a lot of conversations on Family
Bobby
Guy.
McFerrin
Yeah.
falling down the stairs. Ooh, I mean, I don't watch that shit anymore. I like talking about Family Guy more than I do actually watching Family Guy.
Yeah, I
That's
think
kind
I
of the
made
thing.
it to like season 7. I think that was kind of like when I
Well,
when
like
I tapered off.
it's one of those things. Like it literally became more popular because of the DVDs.
Yes.
And like it came back on air because of the
1000%.
DVDs, and it was like I kind of just loved the DVD shit,
Yeah.
and then it was funny for a little bit. And it's like, okay, now you're kind of getting to the whole South Park thinks you write your show with
Right.
manatees and nouns, and then the manatees move idea balls over,
Yeah.
and like you get 3 nouns together, and that's a joke. Did you see that one?
No.
Yeah, the fucking. Oh, you want to see the writing team? You just see these manatees in a tank.
Oh my god. Yeah, after 40 seasons, that's what you gotta do.
I know, right? Just throw them all into a hat. and
3
figure
fucking
it out.
manatees in a
Manatees.
tank. Fucking colored balls.
Oh, fucking hell. Well, now I have FOMO for that because I want to. That sounds awesome. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
you
the
probably
Family Guy in
should
a
see
while.
that South Park Family Guy one.
South Park, I stopped watching that.
Oh,
It's
so
the, like,
funny
90s,
though.
Yeah.
It's so
late
intense
90s.
though. Sometimes I
Yeah.
mean, it's just I can't believe some of the shit they do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so funny though.
I've heard people quote it all the time. It sounds funny, but just
Highly recommend the Cock Magic episode if you ever get an opportunity to see that one. That's probably the stupidest episode
Was,
I've ever seen in my life.
I can't. No, the poo. That was South Park, right?
The Christmas poo.
Christmas poo. That was South.
Hanky?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
Hanky.
yeah, I
Christmas poo.
remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you the talking, singing poo?
Yeah,
The
yeah, that's
Christmas
right,
hat?
Yeah. I couldn't remember if it was
course.
Family Guy or South Park. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
Mm.
All right. Well,
No is a complete sentence. You can say no to people.
Yeah, no.
yeah, just say no.
Just no.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, hey, yeah, Nancy Reagan.
Has a different connotation to it now. See you next time.